My mother told me someday I will buy a galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
Ah, Mr. Orwell, I've been expecting you. Okay guys, let's cut the crap and let's get to what we're really here for. This guy, me. Firstly, I am sorry I cannot be here in person this evening and that I'm here in a pre-recorded video message like an actor too good to come to your obscure awards show. But I'm currently racing the club league and likely getting my ass handed to me. The purpose of my presentation segment is to show you some of the places I have been on cycling holidays, give you some ideas, trips you can take after this COVID stuff is all over, and the main focus will be me showing you photos from the top of the climbs on these locations. The first stop on this presentation is in Los Angeles. This is the Amgen Tour of California stage that goes up the Glendora Mountain Road and up to the ski lifts at Mount Baldy. This is a super long, super lonely road, but here in Baldy Village you can get a gigantic plate of French fries, which makes everything good. As you can see here, the French fries didn't really work. It took me, to do 5 kilometers, it took me an hour, which, I mean, it's pretty impressive going that slow. And if you look at the photos that we can see on this, and then halfway up the climb on the mountain road, you can see this. This is the gigantic glacier in this mountain range. I came up to Los Angeles from San Diego, and like halfway up, it's a 3-hour drive, halfway up, you could start to see this thing like appear in the distance, and it just got bigger and bigger, and I was all like, I gotta climb this thing. The next stop, number 2 on the trip, is here in Boulder in Colorado, also in the USA. I rode up Left Hand Canyon Drive here all the way up to the mountain town of Ward. It's at 2,800 meters, and then I rode down the highway to Nederland and then back down Boulder Canyon Drive here. Boulder Canyon Drive is absolutely amazing descending because you only need to brake for one corner. The rest of it is just coasting the whole way down. Once you get up here to Ward, people start getting strange. A lot of strange people up there, to the point where one of the photos here is Santa having a barbecue, and a lot of the cars up here are like very, very rusted. And then this photo is looking west. West. So over that mountain ridge there is Aspen, which was made famous in Dumb and Dumber, and then further west you've got like out California way. Stop 3 on our climbing tour is here in Gran Canaria, and I generally stay here in Mas Palomas. I've been to Gran Canaria 3 times, and this is one of the best routes. You start off in Mas Palomas, go out along the coast, then you start to climb up here to Morgan and over the Toro Pass and along this road all the way up to Ayacata, and then we get to the highest point on the island, Pico de las Nieves, which is the peak of the snow. And then you get to do this beautiful descent all the way back down to the coast. And a very, very long day out, as you can see. It's 6-7 hours. That includes time stopping for Bocadillos. And then if you look, sometimes when you go up to the Pico de las Nieves, which is here, you can see it because of this that lump of a mushroom-shaped rock. Sometimes you get sandstorms from the Sahara and you can't see when it's not sandstorm, and you get to see Mount Tidy, which is on the next island of Tenerife, and obviously that's the mushroom-shaped rock. So you can see you got to get lucky, because if you get a sandstorm, you've got to come up the next day to get the picture of Mount Tidy. Stop 4 on our trip is in the Sierra Nevada in Andalusia in Spain. Clubmate Sinead Kennedy, who's also presenting this evening, she runs a yoga for cyclists trip for a week down to here in the Sierra Nevada. I've gone on this trip twice, and yeah, it's always a great old time. I don't have that many photos from this trip because this was before I became like, you know, really good at taking pictures whilst also cycling at the same time. I'm really good at it right now. So we start off here in the Beleza Benadoya and go up to Orgiva and then all the way up to Treveles. Treveles is the highest village in mainland Spain, because there are obviously higher villages on the islands. And then you get this massive spaghetti road descent all the way back. A little bit of flat too. And this is one of the photos of the lookouts along this way up. It's a 33-kilometer road. There are a lot of lookouts. So this is maybe 75% of the way up. And then at the end of the week on Sinead's trip, you get I think this is Nutella and Oreo cheesecake, and there's also a glass of cava, which, no, me, it's empty. Stop 5 on our trip. We are here in Nice, and we're going to be discussing possibly the most notorious climb in the world cycling. This bad boy, the Col de la Madone. Lance Armstrong used to ride up and down this, and Michele Ferrari would meet him here and take a pinprick out of his ear to check his lactate levels when he was practicing for the old Tour de France. Nice is an amazing area because you have the Col de Braus, Col de Chiorini, Col de la Madone, and the Col de Ez and La Turbie. All very close. You can also go on a day trip to Cannes, which is west, and you can go on a long day trip all the way over to San Remo of Milano San Remo fame, and yeah, you can ride up the Poggio di San Remo, which of course I did. So when I go on these trips, my dog Sammy, she doesn't want me to go, so she hides in her kennel because she thinks, oh, he has to rub me before he can go, and if I hide in my kennel, he can't rub me. This is dog logic. This is very smart dog. So this is the top of the Col de la Madone, 925 meters above the old sea level, which are rising. So it'll be 924, 923 meters above sea level soon enough. This is also at the top, looking like north into the Alps, the main Alps. So up there you got like towns like Sopel. Here is also a trip you can go on to Monaco, which is possibly one of the most famous corners in world racing. And here we have gone to the Poggio di San Remo, and this is the descent of the Poggio di San Remo, which is absolutely mental with these massive walls. This is an amazing area. I went in December, which was a huge mistake because I lost half of my kneecap in a crash on meltwater on the top of the Col de la Madone. I won't show you that photo, but yeah, the taxi driver told me to go in like September or October and maybe April. So climb number 6 is the Galibier. I rode this climb when I went to France for the L'Étape du Tour in 2019. The stage on screen here is it's a transitional stage that we did with the tour company. So the first climb is the Col de la Madeleine, then the Telegraph. You can see here where I got into the Van of Shame, which has now been renamed since I got into it to the Van of Fair Play to You. And then you get to this town here at the bottom of the valley. It's called Valhor, and then the Galibier starts, and you ride all the way up to 2,600 meters. It's really long, really tough, horrendous. And then I also have ridden it from the Briançon side, and that's much nicer. We went up that way when we went to watch the tour. So here are some photos. This is from the Valhor side. This is the valleys that you see. You get to see a river. Lego blocks. It's got it all, you know. And then here is you're near enough the top, but the top is like, it's not this peak, it's that one over there beside my blender. And then this is the actual top where it tells you, yo, you're at the top. Yo. And so this is what it looks like on a Tour de France day, where you get all the caravans lining the road all the way up. Oh, stop number 7 and the last one. If you're sick of me, good news. It's the last one. We're here in the Dolomites in Italy, which are like over near the Slovenian border, like north of Udine and south of like Austria. I'm not good at geography. You can see here there was a slight discrepancy in my start and finish locations because I took the van of Fair Play to You to the start. So we look at the Passo Giao here, which is this monster. It's like 10 kilometers at 9%, 90 minutes, nice. And at the top there's a lovely restaurant. Dolomites are a lovely area for cycling in, really good weather, and oh my god, the climbs are steep. So some of the photos, this is one of the photos that you get to see going up. All those lovely people living their lives, not having to cycle up this hill ever. These are more valleys, lovely lake over here. And then this is the view from the top. The restaurant at the top. You get to see just over here is the big glacier, the La Marmelada, the Marmalade Glacier. Yeah, so you can see that from various parts of the La Maratona, which does this loop, and then it does the other loop, which is called the Sella Ronda. And from the top of the Passo Stella, you can also see this Marmelada Glacier. And then the final picture is the descent. And the Dolomites are famous for this like rocky formation here, and that's Ashleen there. This concludes my presentation on the places I've been. If you would like to read more about the places I've been, I have many articles here on Orwell Wheeler's website. You just go to home, click tags, click Luke Potter to see all the articles that are tagged with my name. So I've been there are 2 here on the Alps, my trip to Boulder, Dolomites, horrendous trip, Flanders, Gran Canaria, a bikepacking trip I've done, or Los Angeles, Nice, and Wallonia. Next on my list of places to go, I want to finish off the monuments. So I've got Il Lombardia, Tour of Flanders, and Paris-Roubaix, which I wanted to go to at the start of 2020, but something happened. I'm not including Milano-San Remo in there because when I went to Nice, I cycled the last 4 kilometers of the Poggio. So, I've basically done it. I've basically cycled Milano-San Remo. So I also want to go to Tenerife, Mallorca, Morocco's Atlas Mountains, and maybe Girona as well. Those are some places I'm also thinking of going. I generally announce on the forum when I'm going, the Orwell forum. So, you're more than welcome to come with me because I generally need someone slower than me.